"Mom, did you eat?" At that single question, my mother looked at me with vacant eyes. "Who are you?" My fingertips trembled. From that day on, I understood what it meant for the person you love to slowly disappear. But the real hell was yet to come. It was the betrayal of the family I trusted most. In the old single-story house in Namji-yu, Daegu, 67-year-old Lee Man-ho carried his worn tool bag and headed out to the ironworks every morning. He had lived his entire life with diligence and honesty. But ever since his wife, Park Young-soon, was diagnosed with dementia, each day became a struggle simply to endure. "I don't want to go to the hospital. I want to stay home." With that single sentence, he gave up the idea of hospitalization and decided to care for her himself. After work, he always came home, cooked dinner, and sat beside her at the table. When she dropped her spoon, he quietly picked it up and placed it back in her hand. Their small, silent life went on that way for a while. Then one day, a phone call shattered their fragile peace. "Dad, can we stay with you for a while?" His son Lee Da-yeon, who had lost his job in Seoul, wanted to come home with his wife Han Ji-yoon and high school-aged son Lee Seo-jun. Man-ho hesitated. His wife needed a calm environment. But how could he turn his son away when he was struggling? His daughter-in-law Ji-yoon was polite and considerate from the first day. "Mother, let me make some side dishes for you. You should always eat warm meals." Her smile was gentle, her movements graceful. Man-ho thought to himself, maybe I can finally breathe a little easier now. But the unease began only a week later. When he came home from work, his wife looked exhausted. Her words became fewer, her eyes wandered into empty space. "What did you do today?" "I just stayed." Her answer was short, and her gaze trembled with unease. Sometimes, late at night, he would wake to find the lights off in her room, and faint noises coming from the kitchen. Through the narrow gap of the door, he saw his daughter-in-law's shadow moving slowly. She was holding a flashlight, wiping the floor under the table, as if she were hiding something. A few days later, bruises appeared on his wife's arm. "What happened here? I must have fallen." She smiled instead of answering, a strange, fragile smile that didn't feel like hers. When he asked Ji-yoon, she replied cheerfully, "Oh, mother slipped in the bathroom. I should have been more careful. I'm sorry." That night, Man-ho couldn't sleep. His wife's hand trembled when he held it. Then she whispered faintly, "Ji-yoon scares me." "What?" "She hits me, I'm scared." A chill ran down his spine, but he shook his head. It must be a delusion, he told himself, a symptom of dementia. But the next morning, when he found his wife curled up under the dining table, shaking like a frightened animal, he finally understood. There was an unseen violence living in his house. Part 2. That night, Lee Man-ho barely slept. "Ji-yoon scares me." His wife's trembling voice echoed in his head all night long. No, it can't be true. But the next morning, he saw new bruises on her arm, fresh, dark, spreading. At noon, he left work early and quietly returned home. The house was silent except for a faint voice coming from the kitchen. "Why are you so slow? Eat it now." It was Ji-yoon's voice, sharper, colder than he'd ever heard. Through the crack of the window, he saw his wife sitting small and hunched at the dining table. Her bowl was filled with cold soup and hardened rice. Ji-yoon waved a spoon like a weapon. "It's all cold now. You're making me waste my time again." Her face was twisted, unrecognizable. Man-ho froze. He wanted to rush in, but he couldn't. He needed proof. He remembered the small home camera he had installed long ago to monitor his wife's safety. Lately, it had been turning off or changing angles on its own. That night, after putting his wife to bed, he removed the memory card with shaking hands. "Please let it just be my imagination." But as soon as he inserted it into his laptop, the screen told the truth. In the first video, Ji-yoon was yelling and striking his wife. In the living room, "Why can't you ever listen? This is why people call you senile." His wife, trembling like a child, clasped her hands together. I'm sorry." Ji-yoon kicked her foot. "Stop saying sorry. I'm sick of hearing it." The second video was even worse. Ji-yoon forced her mother-in-law to eat food that had fallen to the floor. Holding her phone, she sneered. "Look, mother, maybe I should post this. Online people will call me the perfect daughter-in-law." Her twisted grin filled the screen. Man Ho covered his mouth, tears spilling down his face. My God, he whispered. The life he had built on honesty and love collapsed in a single moment. That night, he knelt before his wife. I'm sorry, I should have known sooner. She shook her head gently. It's all right. You know now, don't you? Her words broke his heart. I'll protect you. No one will ever hurt you again. The next morning, he took her to the hospital. The doctor examined the bruises on her arms, legs, and neck. These aren't from falls, the doctor said gravely. They're signs of repeated abuse. The medical report listed multiple contusions, malnutrition, and psychological trauma. This could be a domestic violence case, the doctor warned softly. You should file a report. Man Ho nodded. Yes, I won't stay silent anymore. He went straight to the Senior Protection Center. When he showed the footage, the counselor's face turned pale. With evidence like this, we can file a criminal complaint right away. Please help my wife, he said. His voice trembled, but his eyes were steady. For the first time in years, he felt tears run freely down his face. That night, his decision was made. There was only one thing left to do. Bring the truth into the light. Part 3. 2 days after the report, a black police van stopped in front of the house. 2 officers stepped out. We're here for an elderly abuse investigation. Is this the correct address? The door opened and Han Ji-yoon appeared. Police? What's going on? She looked startled, but her composure returned quickly. There must be some mistake. Nothing like that happens here. The officer's voice stayed calm. Ma'am, we have video evidence. We'll need you to come with us. The color drained from Ji-yoon's face. That evening, Man Ho gathered the family in the living room. His son Do-yeon had just come home from work, unaware of what was happening. Dad, what's going on? Why is everyone so serious? The TV flickered on. A USB drive was already plugged in. Then Ji-yoon's voice filled the room. Stop apologizing. I said I don't want to hear it. The video showed her flipping the dining table, shoving his wife to the floor. Do-yeon stood up, eyes wide. What the hell is this? What did you do? Ji-yoon clasped her mouth, trembling. It's not what it looks like. Your mother provoked me. I just lost control for a moment. For a moment? You call this a moment? Man Ho's voice shook. I thought of you as family. How could you? Ji-yoon burst into tears. I'm human too. Do you know what it's like? Living with a dementia patient all day? She screams all night, throws things, wets herself, no one helps me. I was trapped in this house, in this hell. Her cries filled the room. Your son goes to work, and I'm left alone here. Did you ever think about me? Even once? For a long time, no one spoke. Finally, Man Ho said quietly. That doesn't give you the right to hurt someone weaker than you. I know, but calling the police? Couldn't we solve this as a family? It stopped being a family matter the moment you raised your hand. It's a crime. The doorbell rang. The police stood there with a warrant. Han Ji-yoon, you are under arrest for elder abuse and assault. Ji-yoon collapsed, screaming. Father, please, you can't do this. I did everything for this family. But Man Ho didn't answer. His eyes were cold as winter stone. As she was taken away, Do-yeon stood frozen. Dad, I swear, I didn't know. Please believe me, I never imagined Ji-yoon could do that to Mom. Man Ho looked at his son and sighed. I believed her too, but the truth doesn't hide forever. When the police car disappeared, silence filled the house. The only sound was soup boiling faintly on the stove. That night, Man Ho opened his wife's door. She was sitting by the window. Where's Ji-yoon? She's gone. You don't have to be afraid anymore. Really? Then let's have dinner together again. Her smile was soft, innocent like a bride from long ago. Man Ho nodded, tears glimmering in his eyes. Yes, just the two of us now. Part 4. A week later, at the Daegu District Court, courtroom number 3. The air was heavy, the room silent. At the defendant's seat sat Han Ji-yoon, head bowed. In the audience, Lee Man-ho and Park Young-soon sat side by side. Young-soon placed her trembling hand on her husband's arm. I'm scared. It's all right. No one can hurt us anymore. The prosecutor read the charges in a calm, steady tone. The defendant subjected her mother-in-law, a dementia patient, to repeated physical and psychological abuse, including assault, threats, food deprivation, and neglect. The judge looked up. Defendant, are these facts true? Ji-yoon sobbed. Yes, but it wasn't on purpose. I tried my best to care for her. Her voice shook. The screen behind them lit up with the videos. And every word of defense was swallowed by the evidence. Is this video an accident? The judge asked coldly. Ji-yoon couldn't lift her head again.
This is not simple violence, the prosecutor continued. It is long-term abuse hidden behind the name of family. The accused stripped the victim not only of safety, but of dignity. A pause. Then the verdict. Han Ji-yoon is sentenced to 3 years and 6 months in prison, with probation and a restraining order under the Elder Welfare Act. A murmur rippled through the courtroom. Ji-yoon cried out, "I'm the victim. I was suffering too. Why won't anyone listen to me?" The judge's voice was calm. Everyone suffers, but no one has the right to hurt the weak. Ji-yoon collapsed, trembling. Her husband Dae-yeon covered his face. He could only think, why didn't I check on mom, even once? When it was over, Man-ho left the courthouse holding his wife's medical report and the verdict. "Let's go home," he said softly. She nodded. Outside, a gentle spring rain was falling. They walked side by side through the drizzle. "I think my memory is coming back," she whispered. "But I still can't remember our son's face." "That's okay," he said. "You may forget names, but your heart remembers." She smiled faintly. "I trust you." A few days later, Do-yeon came to visit, carrying flowers and fruit. "Dad, Mom, I'm so sorry. So many people were hurt because of us. But from now on, I'll take care of her myself." Man-ho said nothing. He simply placed a hand on his son's shoulder. That one gesture carried everything a father could say. Summer came. In the small garden, chrysanthemums bloomed. And Young soon sat with her grandson Seo-jun, painting. "Grandma, this one's me, and this one's Grandpa." "Oh? Then who's this?" "Our family." At that, Man-ho smiled. It was a smile born from long pain. Finally, peace. The camera slowly pulled back. Sunlight streamed through the window. A bowl of warm soup sat on the table. No one hid under that table anymore. No one trembled in fear. And the final narration spoke.